Let us take a very quick look at the current board. Right now, the pieces are scattered in the most volatile positions imaginable. Nina Reeves and Jack Brennan are dancing around missing black boxes and dangerous secrets. Valentine Cassadine and Carly Spencer are caught in a web of espionage, with Sonny Corinthos actively trying to sabotage. Jocelyn Jax is crossing paths with the mysterious new arrival, Hudson. Elizabeth Baldwin and Dante Falconeri are finding quiet comfort in each other while Rick Lansing hovers in the background. Sonny is leaning heavily on ADA Justine Turner amidst his legal and mob pressures. Drew Kane and Ava Jerome are forming a dark alliance of convenience as they both face emotional void. And Britt Westbourne is constantly clashing with the strict new surgeon, Tristan Robert. That is where they stand right now. But the sole purpose of this board is to show us exactly how these pieces are going to collide. Let us build the first future scenario. This is the path where danger breeds absolute passion. What happens next may be a complete surrender to the adrenaline. Let us start with Nina and Brennan. They are both caught up in their own private plans, desperately trying to secure leverage over Drew Kane. Nina does not trust easily, especially not someone as lethal as Brennan. But his sheer danger is exactly what makes this dynamic so unpredictable. If they end up in bed, who benefits? Brennan gains ultimate loyalty from Nina, securing his foothold in Port Charles. Who is in danger? Willow Kane. If Nina and Brennan solidify their bond romantically, Willow loses her ability to control the narrative. The story could be heading toward a massive power couple that operates entirely in the shadows. In the same future, we have to look at Valentine and Carly. They are standing on opposite sides of so many historical conflicts, but they are currently being forced together by circumstance and crisis. Sonny is using Brick to dig up dirt on Valentine, trying to ruin their dynamic. But what if Sonny's sabotage actually backfired? If a massive crisis forces Carly and Valentine to truly rely on each other, that lingering tension could easily turn into an undeniable attraction. If they cross the line and sleep together, it changes the entire power dynamic of the city. Sonny would lose his mind, and Lulu Spencer would wage an absolute war against Carly. The bigger consequence may be that Carly finally steps out of the mob's shadow, only to walk directly into the WSB's line of fire. And speaking of the mob, we cannot ignore Sonny and ADA Justine Turner. Turner has made it clear she will not bend the law for Sonny, yet she continues to accept his passionate advances. If Turner continues to be the person standing by Sonny's side while he faces immense pressure from Jen Sidwell's fallout and Jason Morgan's departure, this relationship could evolve in a direction nobody in Port Charles expects. If they take this to the next level, Turner risks her entire career, and Sonny risks exposing his organization to the DA's office. The fallout would be legendary, creating a scenario where the law and the mob are literally sleeping together. Now, let us look at a second future. This is a completely different path, one that relies on unexpected sparks and dark alliance. This isn't just a minor variation. This is a future that alters the entire landscape. I am talking about Drew Kane and Ava Jerome. This is perhaps one of the most explosive possibilities on the board. Both of them are operating with massive emotional voids right now. Drew is rapidly regaining his mobility and plotting his revenge against Willow, feeling completely isolated. Ava is desperately investigating the mystery of Phoebe's biological father after Ethan Lovett's confession, feeling cornered by everyone, including Sonny. Their current alliance is bringing them closer. When two people are this damaged, this angry, and this isolated, the line between cooperation and physical attraction vanishes. If they hook up, it creates a terrifying power couple. Ava gets the protection and resources of a Quartermain, and Drew gets the ruthless cunning of a Jerome. In this second future, we also have to talk about Jocelyn Jax and Hudson. Hudson is a complete mystery. He arrived in town looking for someone, possibly Ethan or Delilah, and he carries an incredibly suspicious aura. But it is exactly those confrontational, antagonistic encounters between him and Jocelyn that are creating a bizarre, undeniable pull. Jocelyn is drawn to danger, even if she claims she wants to escape the WSB life. If she and Hudson continue to be pulled into each other's orbits, this relationship could become highly dangerous very quickly. If they end up in bed, Jocelyn creates a massive blind spot for herself. She is so focused on taking down threats like Ross Cullum and dealing with Z that she might accidentally sleep with the next biggest threat to Port Charles. Let us pivot to the third future. This is the most unexpected wild card, the possibility that very few people are actively predicting right now, but it is incredibly compelling. This future is built on friction and interference turning into healing bond. Let us look at Elizabeth Baldwin and Dante Falconeri. They have been building a quiet, solid foundation of understanding for a long time. Dante is dealing with the fallout of stepping down as police chief and Rocco's trauma, while Liz is navigating her new power on the hospital board. But here is the kicker. Rick Lansing. Rick is back, and his presence always causes chaos. If Rick tries to actively prevent Liz and Dante from getting closer, I suspect it will have the exact opposite effect. Rick's interference will be the catalyst that forces Liz and Dante to realize exactly how deep their feelings run. Nothing pushes two people into bed faster than someone telling them they shouldn't be together. In this same unexpected future, we have Britt Westbourne and Tristan Roberts. Britt is going through absolute hell. Her Huntington's diagnosis was a lie, she was arrested, and the man she thought would rush to her side, Jason Morgan, is entirely focused on his son, Danny. Britt is heartbroken and lonely. Enter Tristan Roberts, the strict rule-abiding new surgeon at General Hospital. Their relationship is currently defined by explosive arguments and professional clashing. But we all know how this works in Port Charles. That intense bickering is just masked passion. If Jason truly walks away from Britt for good, Tristan could absolutely be the man who forces her to open her heart again. A moment of vulnerability in the hospital locker room after a grueling surgery could easily lead to a passionate, unexpected hookup that changes Britt's trajectory forever. Which path makes the most sense? If you ask me, all of these storylines share one massive, undeniable commonality. The more secrets, betrayals, and trauma that surface, the more these impossible relationships have a chance to ignite. But the path that feels most likely, the one I keep coming back to, is the idea that the darkest alliances will fall first. I truly believe Drew and Ava are on a fast track to the bedroom. They are both too reckless right now to ignore the chemistry. And I am absolutely convinced that Valentine and Carly are going to cross the line. Sonny's attempts to use Brick to sabotage them will be the exact push Carly needs to realize she wants Valentine, if only to prove she cannot be controlled. In Port Charles, what looks like a coincidental meeting is usually the spark that burns down the entire town. These aren't just flings. These are strategic mergers of power, secrets, and trauma. So, what happens next? Let us look at the next shockwave. If these scenarios play out, if these 7 couples actually hit the sheets, the future consequences are staggering. We aren't just talking about broken hearts. We are talking about long-term fallout that shifts the trajectory of every major family. If Nina and Brennan become a true romantic pairing, it could lead to a full-scale war with the Quartermains over Drew's fate. If Carly and Valentine go public with their physical relationship, we might see Lulu Spencer team up with Sonny Corinthos to destroy them both, creating an alliance we never thought possible. Looking ahead, if ADA Turner compromises her ethics for Sonny in the bedroom, there is a massive chance she becomes pregnant or gets blackmailed by a rival mob faction, forcing Sonny to choose between his empire and his new love. If Jocelyn sleeps with Hudson, and Hudson turns out to be a villain connected to the WSB or Sidwell, Jocelyn's entire career with Z is compromised. And if Britt and Tristan find love, it completely severs Britt's ties to the mob world, putting her on a collision course with Jason when he inevitably realizes what he lost. The story could be heading toward a complete romantic reboot of Port Charles. Every single secret they share in bed will eventually become a weapon. The board is moving, guys, and the future is expanding faster than anyone realizes. Keep your eyes on the shadows, because that is exactly where the next great romance is going to start.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.